there, and welcome back to the best Breyer unboxing videos. We are on box 68, well, we'll call it 68A and B, and we're on week 3 of Breyer Lamps mini-series. So this week we have the Breyer Lamps, Lucky Ranger Lamps, careful, plaster base, and the Bear, Sow, and Cub lamp, also known as Mommy and Baby, to keep. And then up top we have the shades that go with them. So that's really cool. Now it does say not original in parentheses, so we'll see what kind of a replacement shade he found for the lamp, because that says the Breyer Bear lamp shade is not original. We'll see if the Lucky Ranger is. And as I've said, you can get the original era pieces and bits. If you're missing a shade or a piece to a lamp, you can always go in and get the replacement piece that matches it. So first we have the incredible, rare, and extremely dangerous light bulb. This is the kind of light bulb you don't want. No incandescent light bulb. Spend the money, get the LED bulb. This one will get recycled or whatever you do with those old-fashioned light bulbs. But get a good one when you get one of these lamps. Because then, if you have one of those cool new light bulbs, you can actually use the lamp. This little puppy is heavy. Okay. And you can display it, and you can use it, and it looks really cool. I have a couple of lamps that I will still turn on with the appropriate light bulb, and they look really cool. Nice decor pieces. That's what they were made of. And here we have enough tape to keep me in business as an office supply store. The Dunning Ranch Craft Mama, Bear, and Cub, also known as Sow and Cub. So this is the classic Dunning Ranch Craft lamp that we've talked about in previous weeks. We don't know a lot about this company, but this is the standard base that I see most frequently. It has the beveled edge, it's rectangular, it has kind of the larger twisted, the one that I saw last week was more curvy, it looked a little different, but it has the brass pole and back, the cord is in good condition, and if we turn it over, this is more along the lines of what I see most usually on the bottom of these lamp bases, is mostly green but sometimes red, and it's a felt material. That one last week was more of a canvas or some other kind of weave, and not the felted material. So this particular Bear and Cub are not wood grain. They are their original finished brown. And we have a harp for them. And this particular harp has what I have now discovered is the original, well, the name for it is filial. So that's this little piece up here. And we saw the odd chest-shaped one last week. This is more common. This is kind of the cap shape, filial, and then the harp. So these pieces you can find on broken lamps that are cheap. Or if you take it into a lamp repair person, they'll probably have a lot of these parts. So now this piece does have, as I said, a shade. And holy moly, this is a big shade. This is indeed a replacement shade. The normal lamp, it's very correct type. It's got the burlap with the little edge trim and the paper backing. However, this puppy is ginormous and round. The most usual one that we see is an oval. So it looks nice, it's attractive, it fits the piece. It's a nice placeholder until you find something that's more correct. But it is definitely very large. It's like living room lamp sized. And it kind of dwarfs the piece. That's why I like those more oval, slightly shorter ones. They're more in proportion with the piece. So this is nice. Now if you are replacement lamp shopping, do make sure that you get one that has the round piece in the middle that's going to attach to your top of your harp with your filial on top to hold it in place, because there's a multitude of different types of lamp shade attachments. And make sure that it's in the proper placement in the middle of the lamp. If this one was placed in the middle, or if it was placed up here at the top, and you hung it on this lamp, it would sit like here, and you wouldn't be able to see your piece. So make sure you take dimensions when you're out replacement lamp shopping so that you can get one that looks good on your lamp. Oh, and he only spent $3.99 for it. So it's a nice, inexpensive, and attractive shade that will keep this lamp looking good in your collection. But it's not original to the piece. It's what we call a married piece. So next we have the Be Careful Lucky Ranger. Now these lamps are completely different from any of the other lamps that we've seen in the previous weeks. As you can tell from the name, Lucky Ranger, these lamps have the Fury Prancer, usually, if you find them, original, with the rider, either Kit Carson or Davy Crockett, and they're on a plaster base. So these guys were made much earlier. So the Fury Prancer with Kit Carson and or Davy Crockett were issued like 56, 57, not very long, and much before the 1960s and 70s. So these are very early, and I honestly don't know if we have any documentation on them. I think they were in the Montgomery Ward and J.C. Penney Christmas catalogs. But like, we don't know who made them. We don't know much about them other than the fact that obviously they were made. We can see the advertisements in those Christmas catalogs. But that's about it. So this guy has his rider, which is cool. They are of a similar lamp style, which is really like probably what you would do if you were making a horse and rider lamp. You would put the horse and rider on the base, and then you would put a pole behind them, and then you would put your lamp and lampshade up here. The base on these is plaster painted. It's really fragile. You can chip these extremely easily. I find them in poor condition way more frequently than I do in good condition. And then you have the horse mounted to it. So the horse, if you accidentally knock it one way or the other, you can loosen the horse on the base. Now they've zap-strapped or zip-tied the Lucky Ranger to the horse. That's just something that they did maybe for storage or to keep it stable on there, because he does tend to rock off. He's got his saddle, and his saddle is intact. He is missing his reins, and he doesn't have his little guns or hat or anything. But those are relatively easy little pieces to pick up. He has his original cord, and the horse is in good condition. This one is susceptible as well to heat if you use it. So the paint's in good condition. It hasn't been used much. It's got the original cord and original plug. And if we turn it over, it has, this is the original felt base that I most frequently see. It's just a white felted base that covers up and protects your furniture. The base is in very good condition. There's a few minor chips here and there, but nothing too bad. He doesn't have a lot of painting on him. The two or three that I've handled have more painting. Like there's a little cactus here. It's usually painted. I usually see a little painting around the edges. So I'll have to do a little more research on this guy and see what the difference is. He does have his harp. Now his filial is a little taller than the previous guy, but it's still kind of that cap type filial. And this is his original. So he does, and it's got, instead of that guy, which has the twisty click on and off, it has the push. Remember, these were from the 50s, much earlier, much different electrical knowledge and manufacturing than when you get into these more modern era. The plug has its own little fuse in it. It has a little connector up here that you can flip up. So these I probably wouldn't use frequently, maybe if some friends came over for a get-together. The Dunning ones I do use with LED bulbs. My plaster old 1950s ones I don't, just because of the electrical piece. And he does come with his lampshade. However, this one has just a plain brown lampshade. I've seen a couple different styles of lampshade. I've seen this one, and it's fine, and it's original, and I believe it's original to this piece. But the one that is most attractive that people like has like a silhouette painted on it of cactus and maybe a horse and rider. It looks really cool, and there's a lot of detail to it. So I don't know. I'm just going to, guess, but maybe this was like the original that they made without a lot of detail to them. And then if they sold well, maybe the next year they said, hey, let's, do a little more detail. And maybe then they painted the plaster, and maybe they had a little more detailed lampshade on them. So it's a nice piece. It's in good condition. You can replace the reins of the horse very easily. The horse is in good condition. The rider's in good condition. No rubbing. You can touch up the lamp base very easily because it's just little tiny paint chips here and there. There's no actual damage to the plaster. It's a nice piece, very old, pretty hard to find, in good condition with its original lamp piece. The base, or this pole here, is plain instead of kind of the twisted of the Dunning Ranchcraft ones. But again, this is an older piece. We're not sure who made it. It's in very good condition for its age, and it's a beautiful piece for your collection. I've only handled maybe 3 or 4 of them in my hunting years, whereas the Dunnings do come up much more frequently, probably because they're newer and could survive better than these that tend to be a little more fragile. So I went a little long on that one, but there was a lot to talk about. Hope you enjoyed. I might come across some more lamps, I might not, we'll find out. But join me next week to see what we find. Thank you.